Viewers, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is over there, who knows. Maybe you're watching this somewhere in the middle of the night, or maybe you're catching it over a midday coffee break. Now, picture this. Jasmine Taylor, sneakers squeaking a little on Atlanta airport's polished floors, balancing a garment bag and her nerves as she heads to Liberty Airways crew lounge. It's meant to be her last routine flight before she officially becomes CEO, a detail only a handful of people know, since her stake in the company is still a secret. She's got her uniform tucked in her carry-on and just wants one more flight where she can observe the company from the inside. Blending in, a regular pilot. Nothing more. But fate doesn't really do quiet days, does it? A security guard pauses with her ID a little too long, squinting at the photo, asking for a second supervisor. The line growing behind her like a bad punch on a classic. Jasmine keeps her composure, only sighing inside, thinking, guess I'm not in Harlem anymore. Things get weirder in the pilot lounge when Derek, a Liberty veteran with silver hair and the tact of a damp towel, eyes her from across the room. Are you lost, miss? He calls, like he's auditioning for most oblivious employee of the month. Jasmine has had her fill of this. No, Captain Harrington, I'll be flying 732 to Chicago today, she says, voice as calm as a weather forecast. He fumbles, flustered his joke. Her reality. Pre-flight checks go smoothly except, of course, for the subtle little dance everyone does to avoid giving Jasmine, the captain, actual authority. Her co-pilot, Anthony Ramirez, keeps rerouting questions back her way. But the real circus waits at the gate. Cameron Wilson, flight attendant with a 1,000-watt smile and the warmth of a meat locker, checks boarding passes and sizes Jasmine up like she's a contestant on some invisible reality show. Crew uses the rear entrance. He tells her, all frosty professionalism. Jasmine, now in uniform, captain's stripes shining, corrects him politely. He doubles down, insists she show ID, then blocks her from entering the cockpit right in front of curious passengers and half the boarding crew. It's the stuff that makes you want to pull the oxygen mask first, right? Before Jasmine can finish her measured reply, the CEO, Robert Phillips, appears, probably expecting to shake hands and nod politely, not to referee a race and gender scandal. Phillips recognizes Jasmine, introduces her as not only the captain, but, in a twist straight out of a workplace sitcom, the new owner of Liberty Airways. The temperature drops about 10 degrees. Phones are out, recording everything. As Jasmine relieves Cameron of duty on the spot, the silence cracks. Someone starts clapping, and suddenly the cabin's a stadium. Everyone riding the awkward high of seeing the underdog come out on top. Historians still argue whether Jasmine's calm in this moment is pure professionalism or if it's just the kind of icy grace that comes from knowing, quietly, you own the whole plane. One passenger jokes, does this mean drinks are on the house now? The flight is 20 minutes late, but as Jasmine takes the captain's seat, hands steady on the controls, you can feel something tectonic shifting not just in Liberty Airways, but in the air itself. The flight to Chicago unfolds beneath a hush of nervous anticipation, with every passenger watching Jasmine like she's both the story and the storyteller. She flies flawlessly turbulence, barely a footnote to Anthony. Her co-pilot keeps stealing glances, still piecing together the revelation that his captain is now, technically, his boss's boss's boss. Once they land, the scene explodes. Reporters in the terminal, phones everywhere. Liberty's PR team having what can only be described as a corporate meltdown. Jasmine fields handshakes and a few shy requests for selfies. But all she wants is a shower in an hour without anyone second-guessing her ID. That's wishful thinking. The viral video is already lighting up social media. Hashtags fly. Think pieces multiply. And somewhere, a late-night host, is probably making a joke about flying while black. Back at her hotel, Jasmine opens her laptop to an inbox full of frantic messages. Liberty's comms want a statement. Legal wants caution. And her mentor, William Bradford, simply texts, remember, strategic, not emotional. It's like a modern Greek chorus. If everyone had LinkedIn. The next morning, the board's in panic mode. Some push for a quick apology and hush money. Others want a scapegoat. Jasmine's sleep-deprived, but surgical demands transparency. This isn't about PR, she tells them. It's about dignity. Boardroom doors swing open on a confrontation centuries in the making. Cameron's uncle, Franklin Wilson, tries to turn the narrative. Wasn't it just a misunderstanding? While the old guard circles wagons, grumbling about quotas and merit. Jasmine isn't having it. She lays out data, zero-tolerance policies ignored. Diversity complaints buried deeper than airline peanuts. Millions lost to hush settlements. She distributes a fat portfolio, light reading. She quips, dry as airplane crackers. Historians still debate whether this is the moment Liberty Airways culture truly begins to change, or if it's just another meeting. But you can see eyes shifting around the table, realizing the ground has moved. The room's oxygen thins. Jasmine clicks through slides, linking poor performance, employee turnover, and declining passenger numbers straight to the airline's rotten culture. What's the cost of discrimination? She asks, letting the silence answer. When Franklin interrupts, you created a PR crisis by overreacting. Jasmine meets his gaze. Your nephew denied a credentialed captain entry to her cockpit. And it wasn't his first time. This is the cost of ignoring the problem. Her strategy is relentless, fact after fact, paper trail after paper trail, until even skeptics fidget and avert their eyes. A few jokes surface in the tension. Diego, her assistant, whispers, next slide, please, like it's a Netflix binge. One board member sighs. Guess we won't make the cover of Polite Company magazine this quarter. But by the time the vote comes, it's nearly unanimous. Jasmine is CEO now, and her first act is a sweeping overhaul. Bold as a new paint job on the oldest plane in the fleet. As the board disperses, Franklin mutters a last warning. Liberty has long memories, but Jasmine just gathers her notes. Thinking, some memories are overdue for an upgrade. Jasmine dives into her new role as CEO with a mix of grit, insomnia, and that particular humor reserved for people who've survived both flight school and corporate America. It's just turbulence. She tells Diego, the seatbelt sign's still on. She faces resistance from every direction. Hate mail in her apartment mailbox. Tabloid headlines questioning how she could afford liberty. Anonymous messages hinting at affirmative action and hidden backers. Even her fiancé, Jordan, suggests postponing their wedding until the drama dies down. Jasmine replies, we're not waiting for bigots to be bored. That's the kind of value you want on your side of history. Change moves in fits and starts. Some senior pilots resign in protest. Old guard managers drag their feet. And every day seems to bring a new leak or fresh rumor. But Jasmine's approach is all momentum. She rotates stubborn leaders, hires outsiders who know how to spot bias from 30,000 feet, and invests in a future of flight scholarship to make sure the next Jasmine Taylor won't be the only one in the sky. When a senior IT manager tries to sabotage the new anonymous reporting system, Jasmine's team tracks him down, and he resigns before she even lands from her next inspection trip. One flight attendant, Patricia Winters, Liberty's institutional memory and unofficial therapist, starts out skeptical, but becomes an unlikely champion after witnessing the energy shift among crews and passengers. Her support turns the tide. Petitions circulate. Old alliances break. And Jasmine's second chances for all policy becomes more than tagline. Historians still argue whether Jasmine's reforms save liberty or simply bring the company in line with the times. But numbers don't lie. Passenger counts climb, stock rebounds, employee turnover plummets. By the time Franklin Wilson calls his last doomed board meeting, it's clear the revolution is permanent. Liberty's old power structure is out, and the next generation is in. Jasmine walks the halls to real smiles, not forced deference. And even the skeptics now joke about checking their biases at the gate. 18 months after that viral moment at the cockpit door, Jasmine pilots Liberty's first direct Dreamliner flight to Johannesburg. Among the passengers, the retired black woman pilot who inspired her at age 8, a handful of critics who once called her unqualified, and a cohort of new cadets from Liberty's scholarship program, all snapping selfies and reminding Jasmine how fast history changes. As the jet lifts off, sunlight spills across her captain's stripes, and Jasmine thinks not about the fight, or even the victory, but about the possibility. Passengers still debate whether diversity really changed the airline, but they all agree on one thing. The mood in the cabin is lighter, the sky looks wider, and the future feels, for once, up for grabs. As the last echoes of Jasmine's story drift across the tarmac, the city lights of New York and Chicago fade gently in memory, replaced by the soft hush of altitude and the quiet confidence of a new beginning. Inside Liberty's cabins, laughter mingles with the low hum of engines, and every corner of the airline breathes with the simple dignity of being seen, heard, and valued. The battles weren't easy. Change never is, but Jasmine's journey becomes a kind of lullaby for anyone watching late at night. That even where traditions run deepest, new voices can rise, and even the coldest sky can become a window for hope. So wherever you are, whatever hour may your story find gentle skies and your dreams. For tonight at least, fly higher than ever before.